Well, a very good evening to you and welcome to JoyNews Prime. We're live on DSTV channel 421 and GoTV channel 125 and across the world on myjoyonline.com. My name is Sheila Sakyi. Coming up, a United States court orders extradition of former MASLOC boss Sedina Tamakloe Attionu to Ghana to serve a 10-year sentence for financial crimes, including stealing and causing financial loss to the state. And Speaker of Parliament Alban Bagbeng assures he will pass anti-LGBTQ bill as he kicks against criticisms over delay in passing the bill. And President Mahama says days of exploitative foreign deals are coming to an end, more as he urges Africa to take charge of its resources as global aid declines. Remember, we are your home of independent, fearless and credible journalism. Please stay for details. We appreciate your company for the next 30 minutes. Now to a very first story. A United States court has ordered the extradition of former MASLOC Chief Executive Officer Sedina Tamakloe to Ghana to serve a 10-year sentence for multiple counts of financial crimes, including stealing and causing financial loss to the state. The decision, delivered by a magistrate judge in Nevada, follows Ghana's former extradition request and marks a key development in long-running efforts to bring her back to face punishment under Ghanaian law. The court ruled that its jurisdiction over the extradition case and over the accused person, and confirmed that the extradition treaty between the United States and Ghana remains valid and enforceable. Member of our Legal Affairs Desk, Fatau Bayaga, joins us live with more. Thanks for joining us, Fatau. Now, can you briefly take us through the background to this case and what really led to the extradition proceedings in the United States?
Yes, Sheila, the case against former MASLOC Chief Executive Officer Sedina Tamakloe Attionu stems from financial crimes committed during her tenure at the Microfinance and Small Loans Center. She was investigated by the Economic and Organized Crime Office, EOCO, over alleged financial irregularities, including causing financial loss to the state and breaches of procurement laws involving public funds. So, Sheila, in 2024, an Accra High Court convicted her in absentia on multiple counts and sentenced her to 10 years imprisonment with hard labor after she reportedly left the country and did not return for sentencing. So following the conviction, Ghana initiated extradition procedures through formal diplomatic and legal channels to have her return from the United States to serve her sentence. Sheila.
So then what does this ruling by the United Court mean in practical terms? Is her extradition formalized, would you say?
Yes, so Sheila, the ruling by the U.S. court means Ghana has succeeded at a key stage of the extradition process, but it is not necessarily automatic. So in the extradition case or in extradition cases, particularly in the United States, a court's approval is typically followed by administrative and executive steps. So it includes certification by the U.S. Secretary of State before the person is physically surrounded. Now, there may also be some legal avenues such as appeals or habeas corpus applications by the affected person, which can delay the process. So while the ruling, Sheila, is a major step forward, her actual transfer to Ghana may still depend on the completion of these remaining legal and diplomatic procedures.
And she returns to serve a 10-year term here in Ghana?
Yes.
Hello, Fatau, are you there?
Yes, Sheila, I can hear you.
All right, so and she's coming down to serve a 10-year term here in Ghana, right?
Yes.
Well, then what does this ruling by the U.S. I mean, so then authorities in Ghana now. So in Ghana now, we automatic that there are further legal processes or possible appeals that could delay her return? Fatal, did you get
Hello,
that?
Sheila. Hello?
Hello, Fatal, did you get that?
Please come again.
Now, so as I asked earlier, what does this ruling by the U.S. court mean in practical terms? And is extradition to Ghana now automatic, or are there further legal processes or possible appeals?
Yes,
that
so
could
Sheila,
delay
this case
her return?
strengthens Ghana's use of international legal cooperation to enforce criminal convictions beyond its borders. So, in fact, it signals that Ghana can successfully pursue extradition of convicted persons who flee or remain abroad after sentencing, especially in financial crime cases involving state funds. So it also reinforces the principle that conviction in a competent court can form a strong basis for extradition requests under international treaties. So more broadly, Sheila, it serves as a warning that leaving the jurisdiction does not necessarily shield individuals from serving sentences, particularly where countries maintain extradition cooperation agreements.
All right, thank you very much for joining us this evening. And that's my colleague, Fatal Bayaga, giving us update to Sedina Tamakloe's sentence. Now, away from that, the Speaker of Parliament, Alban Bagbeng, has given grim assurance that he will pass the anti-LGBTQ bill before his tenure of office comes to an end. The Speaker's assurance comes at the back of raging criticism over the minority and the Ghana Catholic Bishops' Conference to President Mahama and Presidential spokesperson Felix Kwasi-Ofosu's public statement indicating that passing the bill is not the government's priority. The Speaker has been responding to the criticisms, especially those directed at Parliament, and he's been making these remarks at the commissioning of the Ewutu Senya East Constituency MP's office in Kaswa. My colleague James Aveji has more.
Speaker Alban Bagbeng addressing constituent of Ewutu Senya East in the central region, commenting on the raging concern over the delay of the anti-LGBTQ bill passage, declares that he would make sure he passes the bill and make sure the president assents his signature to it.
And let me assure all of you, the rumor mongering about the LGBT bill in Parliament, please be sure I am there. The law will be passed. I'm not a man of words. I'm a man of action. And that is how we got it passed in Parliament. But for some reason, the president did not assent to it. That one is his own mangana, not me. I'm sure one of the reasons why you punished him and his party is one of this one. Don't listen to people who don't know what is in Parliament. His Excellency the President assured me that when we pass the bill and it comes to him, he has stated it before, he was going to assent it.
Speaking to the launch of the ultra-modern office for the Member of Parliament for Ewutu Senya as part of his parliamentary decentralization program, calls on government to take interest in the building of offices for all MPs across the country.
And there's good reason why we want the state to build the constituency offices. Because it will not be for the Member of Parliament alone, but for the constituency. And so whether you are CPP, NPP, NDC, when you are elected the Member of Parliament, that is the place as your office in your constituency.
Speaking to security situations in the area, Director of Investigations at the National Security Council Secretariat, Chief Superintendent Osman Al-Hassan, says incidents of violent clashes have reduced in the Ewutu Senya East municipality as it promises to clamp down on crime in Kaswa and its environs.
Crime in the Central East region, particularly in Ewutu Senya East, has seen a significant reduction since 2025. there have been a notable decline in violent clashes related to land and chieftaincy disputes. The government under President John Dramani Mahama won't tolerate political violence, which has historically created kaswa during elections and resulted in some cases loss of life. Unauthorized persons who carry arms during elections will not be tolerated and culprits will be brought to justice.
For Joy News, I am James Saveji, Kaswa.
And to other stories, President John Dramani Mahama has stated that the era of granting excessive concessions to foreign companies, often resulting in wealthy enclaves existing alongside poor communities, is coming to an end. He stressed that it is time for Africa to fully harness and benefit from its natural resources. Speaking at the African Heritage Awards in Accra, he called for a fundamental shift in how Africa approaches investment and resource management. He noted that humanitarian assistance is declining, official development assistance is shrinking, and many countries are increasing their defense spending, making it even more critical for Africa to become self-reliant and strategic in managing its resources.
We need to make a paradigm shift in how we have considered investments, how we've considered our natural resources, and everything in Africa. The world is changing. The global order is changing, and we must adapt to the changes. After the Second World War, we all agreed that we had a multilateral system, and each was his brother's keeper. After the arms race came to an end, we said there was going to be a dividend, a nuclear dividend, which would make sure that everybody on this earth enjoys a decent standard of living. Clearly, things are shifting from what we all anticipated. Humanitarian assistance is dwindling. Countries are reducing their ODA and using it more for defense purposes and all that. Africa cannot sit with cap in hand and go begging. One of the major assets we have is what nature gave to us. We didn't put the gold in the ground, we didn't put the lithium in the ground, we didn't put the oil and gas in the ground. God gave it to us. And so, like I've said in many places, those days of huge concessions gifted to foreign companies and set up huge, rich enclaves next to African poverty where there's no clean drinking water, those days are coming to an end. We must take advantage of what God has gifted us to make sure that we're able to create prosperity for our people, and we can do it. We've started with the African Continental Free Trade Area. We do have teething problems, but I'm sure that it's a good sign. Already we can see that trade between our countries is increasing. And so we do have the capacity to be able to create prosperity for our people and dignity.
And the Commissioner General of the Ghana Revenue Authority, Anthony Sapon, has revealed that the GRA achieved approximately 96% of its 2025 revenue collection target. Speaking on the Super Morning Show, he said the authority has been giving a target of 225 billion cedis for this year and is on course to meet it, with the over first quarter figures looking positive.
Mobilization, like I always say, for me, is not just collecting the taxes, but also have to view it in a sense of national development, because that is the whole blood that really drives national development. So last year when we started, we had a very strong ambition that, given the circumstances of the economy and all that, we need to focus on raising the revenue domestically. So we had a target of 189 billion. We ended at 182 billion, which is approximately 96% of what we set ourselves to do. But we all know last year was a very challenging year. The economy was reset. We started with a very high, buoyant CD rate of 15-1, and particularly for our import area, which is dollar dependent, that high projection was done. But for the good of the state, we needed to reset the economy, and therefore the currency appreciated. So even if you had the same dollar base in CD terms, you would drop. But that notwithstanding, I think the 96% we made was a very strong push, and we are riding on that to make sure this year as well we've given a target of 225 billion. Yeah. So we are working towards that to ensure that at the end of the day, we can raise the needed revenue to support national development.
Are we on course so far when it comes to those years?
Yes, we are very much on course. January was strong, March was stronger. We had a bit of a below target for February, but overall Q1 is looking very good.
And we'll take a breather here. We'll come back with more news. To stay.
How may I help you today?
We'd like to open a bank account.
Sign here, sign here, sign here, and here. And now you draw direction to your house. I need your thumbprint. And I'll need your birth certificate too. No, I need the original.
A lot has changed since you banked like this. So have we. We've made it easier than ever to open an account online and bank on the go through our mobile app, online banking, and more. EcoBank, a better way to bank your way.
Sign here, and here.
EcoBank, the Pan-African Bank.
Hey, Charlie, what number? The malaria really knocked you down, eh?
Charlie, no joke. Fever, headache, vomiting, loss of appetite. I couldn't even eat my usual fufu.
You and your fufu. But I hope you got tested before the malaria treatment.
Yes, I did. And thanks to Malatu, I kicked out malaria one time.
When malaria strikes, take Malatu, containing artemether and lumefantrine. Comes in tablets and suspension for effective treatment of malaria.
Great to have you back. Thank you. No problem.
Malatu is suitable for adults and children. Manufactured and distributed by NS Chemist Limited. This advertisement has been vetted and approved by the FDA.
It doesn't take much to protect what we love. Sometimes it begins with prevention. Care is not always loud. It is attention, caution, and doing small things right.
Fire safety starts with me, being careful every day.
Good Conduct, Great Life is brought to you by
Indomie!
Tastes great!
More Kivo inside, more to share. Kivo Gari Soaking Mix, taste of Ghana.
Welcome back to JoyNews Prime. Now, navigating the grounds of the Asutifi North Government Hospital has long been a challenge for pregnant women, persons with disabilities and other vulnerable groups, especially during the rainy season. Today, however, the challenge is a thing of the past. The Underground Mining Alliance, a service provider at the Newmont Ahafo Mines, has handed over 700,000 cedis walkway project, transforming the facility's landscape and ensuring that dignity is no longer just a word, but a lived reality for patients. Our correspondent Emmanuel Edujemfi reports.
The Kim Taylor Legacy Walkway now stands as a symbol of relief at the Asutifi North Government Hospital. For years, patients, pregnant women, and the elderly had to navigate uneven, muddy, and slippery grounds to access care. Constructed by the Underground Mining Alliance in partnership with ROPIC, this 700,000 cedi investment aims to facilitate the safe and smooth movement of patients while improving emergency response times within the facility. Dr. Patrick Apialabi, a specialist pharmacist at the hospital, described a grim past where staff, patients, and visitors struggled on the bumpy terrain.
Clients could not go to the lab of admissions when it rained. Nurses had to carry oxygen cylinders on their backs between units. The physically challenged could not be wheeled to access care, and even those who could walk had to do so through the burst air and glare of the sun moving between units. This project was the best fit and has come at the best time to support us all.
UMA's Human Resource Supervisor, Berta Yabua, says the company's CSR efforts are rooted in a simple belief that true success is measured by the lives they uplift.
Pregnant women walking on the uneven floor in the rainy day, in the mud, and even pregnant women who are due for delivery, being supported by the hospital staff, struggling to take them to the operating room for CS procedure and back to the ward. As I imagine elderly patients walking through the rain and in the mud, then it hits me that the walkway project is indeed worth it.
Project manager Martin Limbert emphasized that the company isn't just mining. They are investing in sustainable social benefits that align with their core values.
With our single mission here is to train and develop and pass on all of those skills that we've learned to everyone who works for us. We strongly believe that we need to contribute and pay our respect to the communities that we work in. And we do this by investing in corporate social responsibility initiatives. We select the most valuable and significant initiative that will change the lives of as many people as possible. We're safeguarding the future, one project at a time.
The hospital management has promised to maintain the walkway to ensure it provides lasting value for the community. As the rainy season approaches, the staff and patients at the Asutifi North Hospital can finally breathe a sigh of relief, knowing the path to healing is now a smooth one. Emmanuel Edujemfi, Joy News, Kenya.
Now still on healthcare, the Greater Accra Regional Hospital is calling for urgent support to upgrade its childhood cancer unit as it works to improve treatment outcomes for children. The facility is also seeking assistance for its maternal health unit, particularly to enhance healthcare for high-risk pregnancies and reduce pressure on existing services. Nancy Kumsing has more in this report.
The medical director of the hospital, Dr. Leslie Issa Adam Zakaria, made the appeal during a visit by the Impact World Health and Humanitarian Foundation, stressing the need for additional resources to ease the burden on the facility and improve patients' care.
Areas that will need support is the child health department, maternity, obstetrics and gynecology units, trauma and orthopedics, because we have a lot of trauma patients who receive very expensive care but are unable to pay. We give them implants. We have very complex surgeries, but these are people who have come as emergencies. You can't watch them die.
Director of Policy Planning, Research, Monitoring and Evaluation at the National Ambulance Service, Dr. Simon Nyaiba, revealed that the service is also grappling with inadequate resources, affecting its ability to respond effectively to emergencies.
One of our challenges also is that we are not IGF, we don't generate income. So we depend totally on government to run the service.
Coordinator of the foundation, Nana Noy, announced that the visit forms part of efforts to build partnerships and support health institutions to improve service delivery. She announced plans to organize a training program for Okada riders and public transport drivers in basic first aid and emergency response, noting that they are often first responders at accident scenes before professional help arrives.
I say you are the first to be at the scene. You have to know what to do, right? So I'm here to have this movement, the stroke movement, and as well as work with these Okada drivers. The Okada drivers are ones who actually get to the scenes on time, and taxi drivers, they are our de facto transportation in this country. So what we're looking at is training these Okada drivers to help hands-only CPR, stop the bleed, so when they get to a scene, they'll know properly how to transport people in their vehicles, so we have less stress when they come to the hospital establishment.
The training is scheduled to take place at the Osumanche Palace on Saturday, April 11, and will also feature free health screening and vital checks for participants. For Joy News, Nancy Kumse's report read to you.
Well, that's how we wrap up this evening's bulletin. For more news, do log on to myjoyonline.com. My name is Sheila Sakyi, and thanks very much for your company.
Turn your home and office design dreams into reality. Here at Lesh Fortune, interior design is our passion. Customized interior design solutions, top of the range products such as curtains and accessories, blinds and accessories. Trendy.
Because had not happened before for anybody with a